frenemy, enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Frenemy, enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Frenemy, enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Frenemy, enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me.
I'm about to go Goku. Leave on my head is red like old news. Yeah, trying to get the green like it's Whole Foods. Couldn't take my style and now you so blue. Yeah, now we don't need know you. Your hometown we don't need go to. Trying to get it worldwide global. Looking I can show you. Been killing this is go-to. Skrilla, the whole man killer. Life so free, can't no man kill 'em. Came from the bottom, was a broke man, get up, still move like 10 man with no found with 'em. Boom, pardon me, I get hectic. Ooh, I survive through the wreckage. You should go look for the exit. New sheriff in town, I get a little reckless. Missed the memo, go check the message. I ate then came back for seconds. I hate seeing your fake little necklace. Lifestyle decrepit, I should probably expect this. Too much game for your league. I'm Hussein with ego, Hussein on beats. Legendary, I'm everything you aim to be. I'm insane and free, you can't tame the beast.
Frenemy, enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Frenemy, enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Frenemy, enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Frenemy, enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me.
All right. Well, hello and welcome everyone to the stream. Thank you guys all for tuning in. My name is Riley Hancock. I'm a store manager for Zoomies out here in Layton, Utah. And just first of all, I'm just so dang hyped to be here with you guys to present the latest installment of Stretching with Old Friends. So not only do we have with us professional skateboarder, the owner, founder of Old Friends, and just someone I'm actually really excited to kind of speak with everyone here. So Walker Ryan, welcome.
Thanks so much, Riley. I'm hyped to be here. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. I'm actually super hyped as well. For those who aren't familiar, like you're an absolute G, and you have a lot going for you. So there's a lot of different topics that we're going to be able to dive into. So
cool. I'm stoked to meet you and meet a fellow skater out from Utah. Are you born and raised out there?
Okay, I'm an Idaho guy.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but I'm living out here in Salt Lake now.
Nice.
Really cool spot, especially for the skating scene. We got all the mountains, so anything outdoors, like this is the place to be. Or for me,
cool.
Yeah,
I imagine. Where in Idaho are you from?
Little spot called Pocatello. So shout out. Yeah, shout out everyone back there. It's, small little skate scene. But, we got some rippers out there. Kind of a little hidden gem.
Yeah, it's funny. I put out this novel recently. It's like a skate adventure story. And the main character, I made him from Nampa, which I don't know if you've heard of. It's like a really small town, like right out there.
It was Nampa, Idaho?
Yeah, that's right. I just sort of I just thought it'd be funny if he was from Idaho, and I just clicked Nampa, or I just said Nampa. I've never been to Nampa. I just thought it was a sick name.
All right. Well, now I know. Now we all know. So that's kind of cool. Really funny, anyone's not familiar, like the skate scene out in Boise is really blowing up, and that's kind of, I believe Napa's right around there if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, road skate park. Oh man, yeah, it's a growing culture out there, so that's really funny. And we'll bring up that novel too, because I have a couple questions about that later. That's
cool.
pretty dang funny.
Yeah.
Dope. So maybe kind of let's go over what we're here for, what were the main origins, what we're going to be talking about.
Cool. Yeah, so I have put together a little video of a stretching routine that is in some ways really good for improving your ollies. Like, it's a lot of just general warming up the muscles that are involved with ollies, but also some like strengthening for hip and calf, which is like kind of, they're sort of weird and honestly kind of intense. Like if you're following along with this, like you'll be sweating. Like it kind of kicked my ass towards the end because they're a little bit gnarly. But yeah, like we thought with these stretching with old friends videos, it'd be cool to focus on a trick or a type of trick and a series of stretches and exercises that you can do at home that are like relatively easy and just a nice way to get the blood flowing and get a little strengthening going. So it's, it's like, I'm not a gym guy. I don't really work out, but there's a lot of stuff you can do at home in a really like accessible way that's going to help your skating. And just, I'm 33. I'm like trying to skate for as long as possible. And these kind of workouts, if you want to call them that, are just really good for maintaining, skate legs in a sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and we're kind of going on like a trick that's the true, foundation for most people who are getting into the sport, or
Exactly.
people even who are, they've been doing it for years. It's something that we still need to keep in mind is our bodies and being aware of that we're taking care of them and doing those stretches beforehand, before we get hurt, or, avoid those injuries if at all cost.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and then let alone an ollie, maybe for those guys who got that ollie down, like maybe just do your switch foot, like translate,
Yep, exactly.
So.
And dude, you can always go higher. You can always seek a higher ollie, which is again, like I'm 33 and it trips me out that I'm still like I'm able to, knock on wood, not every time, some days are a little off, but I'm like able to get that ollie up there. So I hope I don't lose that pop. And like, these kind of things are good for that, pop improvement.
Yeah, that's funny. I was born with these long legs, bro. So, that just the height and all that didn't seem to be an issue. But yeah, for a lot of people, man, there's this foundation that we'll kind of learn from this, and I'm excited to dive into it.
Yeah, cool. So should we play the video?
If we have that prepared, let's get it going.
Okay, cool. I'm ready.
All right, sick. Dude.
All right, you give me the cue and let's play it.
I think we're going.
All right.
Yeah, we're good. We're golden.
Cool. So I am currently in the south of France right now, and this was just happened to be the first little patch of concrete that I stumbled on, and it was a nice, I'm not going to be able to tell you exactly how many boards it was high, but it was a little jumper. It took me a while to like not clip on the way up.
It's a good,
but,
3-4, good 3 feet, man. Yeah, that's no joke.
Yeah. It's a hip height basically. How many decks can you ollie, do you think, Riley?
Oh man, dude, I'm gonna lowball it. I can get up there. Okay, no, I can't speak for my switch ollie. Okay, nothing like that, but get up there.
Nice. Yeah, my switch ollie, I was like, ooh, I was all fired up because I ollied this thing like 30 times, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna switch ollie it, and I like rolled up, and I don't know, it wasn't the day for it.
All right, yeah, that's pretty funny because, for my understanding, you've got a pretty mean switch game.
Thanks. Yeah.
Switch Trey manuals every tribe. I want to say, man, that's heat.
I like the switch Trey manuals.
Yeah. There's a really cool video I watched, the 8 minutes at barracks.
Oh, sick.
Oh my goodness, that's forever going to be my kind of hype video for sure.
No way. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So many good
So,
sessions at the barracks over the years. Yeah,
so let's see what we got in here.
yeah, so this is the first few are dynamic stretches, and most of the stretching that we do that are these are all recommended to me by Dr. Kyle Brown, who's a physical therapist and a ex-pro skater, someone I grew up with, who I do a lot. Everything we do with old friends that involves fitness is like under the guidance of Dr. Kyle. And so basically, like all the stretching we do, normally you think of stretching as like, all right, I'm gonna like sit in a position and hold it for 30, 45 seconds. We don't really do any of that, not a lot of it at least. Most of it's dynamic. So we're swinging legs and moving our body to like basically get a warm-up stretch going. And so the first few we're doing are leg swings. We started with front to back. These are side to side. And these are going to get like your inner thigh, outer thigh, and hamstrings kind of like stretched and get them warmed up in a sense. And so this next one we're going to do is a board rotation, which is good for like the lower back, but this is where we start getting into the hips, which is like crucial for the ollie. It's there's glute strength and there's calf strength and there's quads, but really it's like hips. So this is like when we start getting into that.
Totally. No, and I think just even watching this kind of gives me like PTSD of like how I haven't, taken care of, doing these warm-ups beforehand. And then I go out and I'm like, okay, within the first 30 minutes, I'm beat, or I got smoked. I rolled that ankle, or, whatever it is. So
how old are you?
25 years young, my friend.
Okay, yeah, you are young, dude. You're good.
Yeah.
But still, it's a good time to be thinking about this sort of stuff, because really like our motivation for putting this kind of content out there is like preventative, like avoid the annoying injuries. Like I suffered a stupid low back muscle strain recently, or like last year, and it took me out for like a month and a half, and it was basically just from not doing this shit, being too eager, like getting to a spot and just like, well, I just want to skate. And this is the kind of stuff that's just like good for preventing those like little injuries that'll take you out. It's not going to be like, hopefully not a gnarly one that like fucks you up, but just like something that's just going to like not have, you're not going to be as confident, you're not going to be as hyped. And and this one is like really, this is one that Kyle talks about. This is the knee to chest. He talks about this specifically for like working on your pop and for ollies, because it's the knee to chest, and it's just like crucial for that. Basically getting that hip mobility going. So it's if you're watching, like this is a good one to do. If you're going to do any swing, like before you skate and you're eager, swing legs a little bit and do this one, because it's really good for that activation. It's cool.
Low key giving it a shot right now. Get a little warm up. So
yeah.
Cool. No, I just like the fact that you're bringing these, showing everyone something that they may feel uncomfortable about. Because I think a lot of the confidence behind it, where you're like, how do I even stretch, can be kind of ridiculous sometimes. Like,
totally.
I feel like if I'm just out in public and I'm like, oh, stretching my leg, I'm like this lanky fool who looks like he doesn't know what he's doing, or just doesn't know how to stretch the right spots and what we're truly using. So I think it looks like you have this kind of dissected to what's benefits towards the muscles we're using towards skateboarding.
Exactly. If you'll see me, I'm a scrawny upper body, like I'm not really the kind of stuff we focus on isn't going to be like strengthening, like, like muscle building. It's going to be just kind of like activating like the crucial muscles for skating. And so like, this is where we start for the video. We start moving into some of the more strengthening focused ones. This is a single leg sit to stand, which is just like, seems chill, but it will actually kind of like feel really intense after like 10. And I only did 15 of each leg. Kyle says that any like average skater who's healthy should be able to do like 22. Some research paper told him that, but 22 like kicks my ass. So like you should try these sometime and you'll be like, whoa, dude, it's kind of gnarly. Like got to keep your legs straight. Like don't let the knee buckle. You can see I kind of like waver. and don't use your hands or anything to lift you, and just like pick yourself up. And this is like where we start focusing on quads, glute, and like balance. So it's interesting. I mean, it's to each their own when it comes to this sort of stuff with skating. Some people don't care, and some people like find it really interesting. I'm at the point where I find it really interesting because I just want to like maximize like any skating that I can do. And yeah, this is a good easy one you can do. I mean, this is the kind of stuff too that like if you're just like working and you're sitting all day, like, and you have a 5-minute break, try to do some of these things just to like feel like you did something. It's good.
All right. Yeah, I can dig that. It can kind of maybe become a morning routine for some people. You can kind of consider this, and once you start working that in, it just becomes on the regular.
Yeah, totally. Something like that. And these ones, we're now moving into some calf stuff. So these are just like simple calf raises. And, like if you think about any ollie movement, any trick, it's like you need that good calf. And so
yeah.
Again, with all of these, it's basically like 15 each, and you just kind of work your way through cycling.
Yeah, kind of short reps. You're not, like you said, it's not like a muscle thing. We're not trying to, get bulk out here. We're trying to get up and going. Yeah, I get swole. That's not me, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. So too, and I don't want to interrupt kind of what we got going on because we'll continue, but I did want to bring up for everyone kind of in the chat that you guys can be asking any sort of fun question. We'll be answering those, and we're also going to pick a winner later for one of those. So keep that chat live. And we'll kind of keep going with this, of course. And two, whatever questions, as relevant as they are, these exercises, maybe something you want to see, we'll be looking for it. So but to kind of keep going, let's this one looks a little good. What do we got going here?
Yeah, so this one is like called pigeon rock back. And this is specifically, we're using this in one of our rehab programs for hip impingement. And you kind of just like, it looks a little funny, but you're like in that modified pigeon position that if you've ever done yoga or anything like that, you've like put yourself here, and it's a good stretch for the hip, and you just kind of rock back. And I'm just doing like basically 15 each leg. And, you can sit in this one a little bit longer if you wanted to, you could be doing this one for like a few minutes, but for the sake of just keeping things moving, I was doing it for just 15. And then I was breaking it up with a plank, because a plank is just like a nice, easy way to just get some like core strengthening going. And so for those, I was doing a minute. So since I'm already there, I just like do a plank and then switch to the other leg.
Okay. All right. Sounds like a whole lot of fun, man. I don't know if everyone needs to have a yoga mat though, just so
I know yoga mat helps. Yoga mat or just like a carpet. I was doing it on a hard, stone floor basically, or tile, and it was just like not too good on the knees, but because all I brought is just like a tiny little mat with us, because we're on the move. We're just like traveling around Europe right now.
Right. And that's maybe something we can talk about real quick too. So where are you at? Where are you coming from?
So right now, coming to you live from a little town in the south of France called Cassis. It's close to Marseille, which you may have heard of because of that bowl. We're going there on Saturday, and I've been wanting to skate that bowl for whatever reason. I'm not even like a bowl skater, but it's been like the pinnacle destination since I was like 10 years old. So there'll be some little kid dreams fulfilled this weekend, hopefully. But yeah, no, my wife and I, we both got our vaccinations, and we both work remotely, and we just thought, you know what, we subletted our apartment in New York, and we were just like, let's just be random new places. So we're just kind of like on the move. It's been cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it, man. That's Kines. I can't say I've been overseas, can't say I've hit any of those staple spots that you're bringing up, but I know how that is to kind of get that childhood dream or that trick or that spot fulfilled.
Do you have any of those spots that you've
You know,
hit in the States?
in the States, that Vermont's full of, some random cool stuff. Should be
Vermont,
rad.
of all places,
Vermont.
Vermont's on your list.
Yeah, I have a bunch of buddies from out there.
I love Vermont, but it's just like one of the last places I would think as like a
You'd
skate
think
destination.
too, right? Yeah. And maybe it was just a dream staple spot to kind of go visit too,
Yeah.
along those lines. But realistically, even living out in Idaho, growing up there,
Yeah.
Utah was like oh wow, dude, that place looks lit. Skating around Salt Lake, downtown, there's so many parks. So
Right.
that was I moved out here to kind of fulfill that little childhood dream,
For sure. Yeah.
being where I'd want. And I think that opened my eyes to traveling as you're even doing,
Yeah.
So that's funny.
Yeah. Anywhere else though? Anywhere you haven't checked off yet?
I guess just even getting out to the East Coast. No, I don't, I don't go too hard. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll keep that one clear with this, but you won't catch me jumping down anything too insane.
No worries.
So, anything out on the East Coast seems like a really cool, fun city vibe just to be around. Could be into it.
Cool. Word. So now I should mention that what we're working with now involve a resistance band. And these bands are going to be part of the little giveaway we're doing. There's some of the things we make with old friends on the side. And this is called the Hip Abduction in Modified Side Plank, which is a little mouthy, but it's basically just like you're in a side plank and you're just like using the resistance to create some tension on your legs, and you're just lifting your legs up. And it seems chill, but it's gnarly. Like it just gets, this one got me sweating. I was barely able to get through the like 15 each that I was doing. And again, I was pulling exercises from our program specifically for coming back from hip impingement. And, it all just works its way into also being beneficial for, getting your ollies going. And so this is kind of a better angle so you can see what's involved, but it's like the subtle things can be so intense when you actually do them. You look at this and you're like, that's probably pretty easy, but I mean, maybe you'd be better, but I'm like, oh, that got me.
No, I feel you. I think I'm probably the, most out of shape out of this group and even in the chat. So yeah, watching those are no joke. They use those for like strong, rehabilitation, even, bringing people back. So this is
totally
not only bringing that strength beforehand, but they use those to like bring people back. So that's buck.
Yeah,
they are no joke.
And this is another one for that, purpose of like really getting your hips strong again and back. It's these are called the Hip Flexor Marches. And so you just you like bring it back and hold it and then like release it slowly. And it's intense after a few. These last ones I put on the program kind of really got me going towards the end.
Yeah. I can see it in the face a little bit, I think. All right. Hopefully I'm not the only one noticing, but I'd be right there with you. I'd be right. You trust me.
Yeah.
Actually, I'd be tapped out. Yeah, that's cool. So, I mean, how does this directly relate some of these movements? And we're focusing on that ollie. So what is this muscle focus? Is this within? How's this going to help?
Yeah, well, I mean, so much about the ollie is hip mobility and strength. I mean, like we said, it's a lot of like muscle power, your glutes and your hamstrings. I mean, it's all involved, obviously, your calves, but like really like hips are crucial, especially when you think about like tucking. You want to, when you want to ollie, you need to just like lift your legs all the way up and you don't want those tight hips. So it's just super good for that. If you're really working on your ollies and you're really just trying to, bring them up as high as you can. So that's kind of the gist of it. And if you're interested in this specifically, I highly recommend checking out Dr. Kyle Brown's Instagram. It's just at Dr. Kyle Brown. He's a physical therapist. He's the actual expert on this stuff. He's guided me through this. I can't really speak with any like actual authority, but he has a lot of posts that like basically tap into all like kind of questions that skaters have. And if you're really interested, we do a follow-up thing through old friends where we like really dive into certain topics, and it's like a podcast and videos where we walk you through like specific rehab programs. So it's cool that he's a skateboarder, lifelong skateboarder. I grew up making videos with him, and he has such incredible knowledge about the human body and how to like actually deal with injuries and strengthening and how it relates to skating. So it's been fun. I've been learning a lot. Definitely never gonna know enough though.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I don't think you want to, kind of max out on these either. Continue to challenge it or whatever it is. Everyone too, your bodies work differently. Like a lot of these, I have a pretty messed up wrist. So I think a lot of it's like,
oh yeah, I
have to work around, So
Totally.
I think do what you can.
Yeah, don't work into pain too much. It's not the move.
No.
And so this last one, it's called an adductor exercise, and I was like gonna do 15. Everything in this little video I've done just like 15 each leg or 15 reps, but I can only do 10 of this one because it really was just like too hard. So I just like grab a chair and you lift yourself up with the leg on the chair and keep your elbow on the ground. So you're like in a full side plank, and looks like nothing. Like I'm watching myself do it. I'm like, what? That couldn't be hard, but it's hard. So you're just like using your top leg to like bring up your whole body. And it's pretty intense. Recommend starting the first time you do it, like with your knee on the chair instead of the ankle, like I did. And you'll feel the burn in the inner thigh, and it's no joke.
So I'm curious what the chat has to say about, if they think they can do this, or if that's what, or if this is something that's already in their regular routine. I'm curious.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, it looks like you have it pretty dialed out, man. So there's something I wanted to bring up too is I found out through your website that you have a novel that you wrote.
Yeah.
And that you were talking. So this is kind of pretty irrelevant to, the exercise. It's mostly, a novel fictional book you wrote. Okay. I don't know, maybe tell me a little bit about that, or what was the inspiration?
I actually have it right. I actually have it right here next to the computer. It's called Top of Mason. I have it here because I'm doing my buddy's doing the audio version right now. So I've been having to like proofread it, like I listen and he goes through it. But, I'm a big reader. I really like fiction. And I just, I'd never read a novel that was set in the world of pro skating. There's a couple books out there that are kind of like about kids getting into skating or kind of coming in age stories. But I wanted to write a story specifically about a skater who never made it as a pro, but tried. He was close, because there's a lot of people I've met over the years who just like, they were in it, they were in the industry, but they never really made money from it. And, they just sort of end up down on their luck. And that's what this story is about. It's about a dude named Henry from Nampa. And he, moved to San Francisco to try to make it as a skateboarder, and it didn't work out. And he just gets into some crazy adventures because of basically all due to like a bad breakup. So it's, it hits on a lot of levels. There's a lot of, like San Francisco, wildness that if you've ever been, you've seen it, it kind of tracks like two very different directions his friends go in. One, he becomes basically like someone experiencing homelessness and addicted to drugs. Another who made it to like the top, of like just being a super famous skateboarder. And, it kind of goes back and forth, and it's fun. It's meant to be a fun read. Like I like books that are just enjoyable. You can pick it up and you get sucked in. And so, that's the gist. It's been a really cool thing to put out, because a lot of people have been reading it. It's crazy.
That's really dope.
I got to send you a copy.
Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, I was curious if there was any involvement with like stretching. Hopefully Henry from Tampa stretched a little bit.
Henry's got there's some mentions of dynamic stretching in there, but it's definitely not the story of an active stretcher.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, maybe if he would have,
Yeah.
when I got out of that breakup. All
Yeah.
right.
And so
Cool.
we got it. It's funny. We got a question from Wags16. He asked about plantar fascia, and it's that's one of the programs we have through Patreon. We focus specifically on plantar fasciitis and how to use like some basic, simple at-home remedies to come back from that. So you should check it out. There's some trailers on our website because that's one that hits a lot of skaters in my age range. Plantar fasciitis can be a pain.
And I think it's oldfriendsco.com.
Oldfriendsandco.com.
Co. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know I was strolling upon it earlier. And yeah, there's a bunch of, really a lot of different varieties of stuff out there. Or that you have.
We've covered a ton of topics now. And so what I do basically all day when I clock in on the computer is edit these videos. So we have like something to drop every week. We drop a podcast or a video. And so I'm just like editing this content and getting it out there to hopefully help some skaters, get some people who like don't know there's a lot of information on the internet if you are dealing with an injury, but it's helpful to learn something from a skater if you are a skater too. And so that's the idea, obviously like you eventually have to take this stuff to a physical therapist in person. You really want to get the right treatment, but this is just like supplemental insight basically.
Totally. I saw it. So bringing up the kind of questions that are coming up in the chat, what was it? Bree Games 98 wanted to ask, revolving, you stretch beforehand, but how important is it to be doing these things even after?
Yeah, I mean, most of the stuff we focus on when it comes to dynamic stretches, it's just really good to do beforehand, because it's really about like warming up the body. I like to do some stretching after a session, especially if it was like a super intense jumping down stair day. I like to foam roll. I like to stretch out my hamstrings, but when it comes to what Kyle talks about, as far as stretching, like he really veers more towards doing dynamic stretches before, a little bit after, but not so much focusing on like those long static stretches afterwards. So it's kind of to each their own. There's something kind of therapeutic about stretching after a session. There can be some like, you could be into yoga, you just kind of want to calm yourself down. So I used to just stretch my way through like TV shows and shit, but I don't do that so much anymore.
Okay. Yeah, because that's, of course, before, when you get home from that session, it's nice to unwind a little bit, whether that's yoga.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. This is kind of another funny one. I'm sorry to hit you with another joke, or not another joke, but question.
No worries.
Current tricks. What are you working on?
Oh, that's good. So I'll say it because I was just in Paris and I was working on a trick there. Like I've been trying to do a big switch impossible for the last like 5 years. It's weird because impossibles were literally impossible to me. Like I didn't think it was ever going to happen. And then something clicked at one point where I was like, oh, it's all about a pressure flip. Do you have impossibles by any chance?
No.
Okay. So do you have pressure flips?
No, sir. That's definite no.
Okay, well, so this might not be for everybody, but for me, unlocking the impossible is all about the pressure flip. So anyway, I figured out the regular ones, and then I figured out the switch ones, and I've been trying to do it as big switch one on something forever, and I just keep striking out. I'm telling you, it's been like years of trying them on epic spots, and then just not doing it. And there's a street gap in Paris that I just tried it on and stuck it, but I just couldn't get it. So that's kind of a trick that I'm like psychologically struggling with, because it's like I've stuck it over a picnic table, I've stuck it on a street gap, I've stuck it on like famous little bump to things, and I just can't roll away, and it's been pissing me off. So I'd say that's like a trick that I've been working on, but there's always new stuff. Like I don't know, every day is a battle really. Yesterday I was just messing around with nollie heels, and they just like weren't working for me, and I was trying to like dissect what I'm doing wrong with the nollie heel to like do them better, but every day is different.
That's kooky. Yeah. And the funny thing is, I know for a fact that I've witnessed you do a switch impossible and a regular impossible followed to a nollie front three and fakie front three. So
Oh
yeah, I
yeah.
know it's gone down. I've
Good
seen,
looks. Yeah.
I know what's going on. And
Nice.
that's funny because dude, pressure flips. Maybe I do need to take a little back step here, and maybe that's what'll dial it in.
It's
like,
so funny because there's what basically if like this is your skateboard, you like I'll do it like this. The pressure flip makes it like flip like that. And what you do with the impossible is you just like pressure flip and then grab it with your foot. And it just works. That's my tip at least. And I would always try to do shove it's, like you basically shove it and like you don't pop, you just pressure flip, you pressure it, grab it. It's weird.
yeah,
It's funny because it's like one of the old like people have been doing gnarly pressure flips forever, and like I thought it was not ever going to happen for me. It's funny. Skateboarding is so cool that way. You can just like be in your 30s and learn something new, unlock a trick, and you're just like your life is changed forever.
Guess
never too late, dude. Never too late.
Keep stretching, maybe.
Maybe
that's the trick of it too.
Yeah.
Cool. Let me see. So old friends. I'm curious kind of too, what got you into that? What was what started it?
Yeah, so the origin was my friend Chris, one of my skate homies I grew up with at Napa. He drew this little guy, this little cute baby hugging a board, and I just thought, damn, we should put that on hats. And I was at a point where I wanted to just like start a little company, and a hat company just seemed like the best way to go. And so we co-founded it together, called it Old Friends, and we've been rolling ever since. And it's evolved in a really cool way where he's a great artist, graffiti guy, has a sign painting degree now and does all that stuff. So he comes up with the graphics. I just handle all the like video marketing. I've been taking this fitness direction because I think it's really interesting and people seem to be responding well. And it's basically gives me an excuse to work on cool projects with my friends and, make skate videos. And so right now we got a little video in the works, me and Sibo Walker, a little shared part or promo kind of thing. And so, it's just like keeps me motivated to make stuff, keeps me learning, and it's been really fun.
Yeah, that's funny because earlier I almost botched it and I was like, oh, co-founder, the guy. But realistically, this is the, Walker Ryan, you're the name behind it. And it seems to be some really cool stuff. And not only you have your novel available on there, all these different exercise, whatever you could need.
It
seems like
been really cool because we got some really sick graphics in the works for Zoomies too, coming down the pipeline. It's been really fun working with you guys because we get some shirts that we might not get made for ourselves, but then like get them in the stores, and it's just really cool.
That's rad. So I guess you guys all heard that here, I didn't know that. So new news, man. That's dope. And I'm actually super stoked to see those things kind of roll through. And I bet other people, they're going to be excited about it.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Cool. Well, so you're going to get on this program, Riley? You going to try this one out?
I might be right there. You might see my name pop up as an order. I don't know if you probably don't. You'll see. I'll have some equipment. Maybe I'll send you a DM of my version of these exercises.
Yeah, dude, let's see the attempts.
Pretty cringy, I bet, but that's cool. So yeah, with that, we can come to maybe some sort of a conclusion. There's a couple other points I do want to bring up. So obviously, you're traveling through Europe, doing your thing. Where else can we find Old Friends? Where is it available? What can I access? Not only the oldenfriendsco.com, but where else, boss?
Yeah, so we're in Zoomies, we're in a few skate shops, and it's just an online thing. We try to make it available wherever. Like we've had a few hiccups with sending to Mexico, which is weird. I don't know if you guys find that out, but No, it's been, yeah, we try to, the internet makes anything possible, really. It's pretty incredible.
Cool. Yeah, and I know too, you guys got your Instagram, so if people want to kind of get just a little sneak peek at it, and I know there's a link in there too to the website, easy access.
Yeah.
Cool. And two, so let's make sure that all of you guys out in that chat that we're subscribing to the Zoomies Twitch and the Zoomies Stash to make sure that you guys are getting notified of the next episode with old friends, Session with Old Friends, which is scheduled for June 23rd. So 13 something days away for some more fun.
Yeah, let us know what you want to, everyone listening, let us know what kind of stuff you want to see. It'd be cool to hear what you're into, and whether it's like tricks or types of skating or whatnot. So keep us up to date.
Yeah, for sure. Because that's, we have that Old Friends fitness kit that we're going to be giving away. And all you have to do is comment in that chat and telling us what trick or stretch that you would want to learn on the next. And we're going to pick our winner, and you're going to get some gear, which I know I'd be hyped for.
Hell yeah.
Cool. All righty.
Right
With
on.
that, I think, do you have any closing words with us, Walker, Ryan? I mean, I appreciate everything. You're just as rad as I expected.
Hell yeah, Riley. Dude, it was nice meeting you, and I hope we get to skate sometime.
That'd be dope. Cool. Well, let me know, Utah, and if I'm ever in France, which I don't know.
Only we're leaving pretty soon, so next stop is Spain.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, everyone, be on the lookout. Old Friends, Walker, Ryan.
Thanks, you guys. That was fun.
Cool. Thank you guys too for tuning in. We'll see you around.
All right. Peace.
Hop in a whip and I'm out. I need so much I can't count. Oh, and I don't need no college, cause I'm getting stupid amounts. Ayy, hop in a whip and I'm out. I need so much I can't count. Oh, and I don't need no college, cause I'm getting stupid amounts. Yeah, I'm getting stupid amounts. Ayy, so much that I'm losing accounts. Ayy, I'm a young boss in my state. Yeah, so I gotta stay in my town. Ayy, I think I'm staying around. Ayy, what is they talking about? Ayy, they know I've been in the lab. Yeah, bro, why they all going out? Ayy, I got the money, it's inside. They wanna ask why I been why. In 2018, they still hate it.